Did you know that Mark Zuckerberg just dropped a 6,500-word manifesto about the future of AI and how it could reshape humanity? We're not talking ordinary tech hype. This is the guy behind Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, laying out exactly how superintelligent AI could change society forever. Where does Meta fit in? And what's his real vision for making sure AI works for everyone, not just the tech giants and the ultra-rich? If you're curious where the tech world is heading and how it could land directly on your career and your business, grab your seat. We're about to break down the 4 biggest takeaways from Zuckerberg's most ambitious essay yet, plus the part most coverage skipped entirely. Before we dive deeper, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. This channel cuts through the AI noise, and your input shapes where we go next. The essay is called "The Future is for Everyone," and we mean it's long, longer than most college papers, at 6,500 words. So why should you care what a CEO wrote? Because it's not just Meta's internal memo. What he's arguing could shape how every one of us interacts with AI, from solo founders to mid-sized companies to government regulators. When the company running the biggest open AI models in the world publishes a manifesto, you're looking at a signal about where the entire industry is heading. Here are the 4 core ideas he's pushing, and where we think the real story is. Zuckerberg makes one thing crystal clear. He believes powerful, superintelligent AI should be open and accessible to everyone, not gated behind the walls of a few wealthy companies or countries. And history backs the concern. Breakthrough technologies have a habit of ending up locked up, controlled by whoever got there first. Think about how the early internet's infrastructure, or mobile operating systems, consolidated into a handful of hands. He sees that same pattern repeating with AI unless someone deliberately changes course. He draws a hard line. The next wave of AI, the kind that could match or surpass human reasoning, shouldn't belong to a single corporation or government. If AI becomes the brain behind your car, your healthcare, and your business software, should one player hold the keys? He doesn't think so. His answer is open sourcing. Make the models public, so researchers, startups, and independent developers can all help shape how the tech evolves. And this isn't hypothetical. Meta already released Llama 2 and later Llama 3 for anyone to download, fine-tune, and build on. That's a real model, billions of parameters, free to tinker with. Here's the contrast that matters. OpenAI's frontier models are largely closed, accessed through an API. Google's Gemini is a paid product. Meta is giving the weights away. Whether that's altruism or strategy, we'll get to that. It's a genuine fork in the road for the industry. The second message is that AI companies and countries must work together. Instead of racing each other to the finish line, Zuckerberg warns about a world where AI becomes an arms race, secretive, cutthroat, dominated by whoever has the deepest pockets. He draws a comparison to the early days of nuclear weapons, when a lack of coordination nearly tipped the world into catastrophe. His argument: we need bold international standards and real oversight. Otherwise, whoever builds the fastest, most powerful tool wins by default, and everyone else deals with the unintended consequences. Shared responsibility is the only way safety checks, ethical guidelines, and red lines get followed globally. What are those red lines? Military applications, mass surveillance. AI used to manipulate elections or run autonomous weapons. These aren't theoretical. They're the exact scenarios regulators keep citing. There's a sharp point buried here. When AI expertise is hoarded and split up, risk goes up. But when breakthroughs are shared, humanity gets far more out of the technology and avoids the worst-case outcomes. The essay doesn't just call for cooperation. It gets specific about how to actually govern AI as it matures. And his core claim is blunt: the old ways of regulating tech won't cut it anymore. The stakes are too high, and the technology moves too fast for slow-moving legislatures. He floats concrete ideas, a hybrid system, where governments, tech platforms, and civil society groups collaborate to write the rules, monitor abuses, and enforce accountability. Decision-making power shouldn't rest solely with corporations. Independent external groups need a seat at the table. Why? Because AI's potential to reshape public life is enormous, and unchecked corporate power is a recipe for disaster. But here's the good news and the nuance. He also warns against excessive reactionary regulation. If lawmakers slam the brakes too early, they could make things less safe, not more, by pushing research underground or handing the lead to less responsible players. It's a delicate balance, not a Wild West, but not regulatory overkill either. That's why this pillar matters more than it sounds. Most AI debates treat regulate as a yes or no question. Zuckerberg's actual position is a third path, structured, collaborative, and global rather than a patchwork of national laws. Finally, he positions Meta, privacy breaches. His answer isn't denial. It's that avoiding these pitfalls means getting more people, not fewer, involved in building the future. As the company best suited to lead, but he works hard not to sound like a tech messiah. He acknowledges the real risks, bias, misinformation. He's betting on open collaboration, transparency, and global partnerships, even when that means giving up a competitive edge for the greater good. He frames Meta's mission as building the underlying infrastructure, the roads and bridges of the AI era, not just the flashy consumer apps. It's a subtle shift, but an important one. Meta wants to be the platform others build on. But here's where we push back, because the honest read matters. Critics point out that Meta fell behind OpenAI and Google in the closed model race. Open sourcing Llama is partly a strategic play. Commoditize the foundation layer, so rivals can't lock everyone in, while Meta builds the ecosystem on top. Is the vision genuine, or is it a competitive move dressed up as philosophy? Probably both. And that's exactly why the manifesto is worth studying rather than dismissing. So what do you actually do with all this? 3 practical takeaways. First, if you're a business or a founder, the open source direction means your cost of access to frontier-grade AI is about to collapse. You won't need a 7-figure budget to run capable models on your own infrastructure. That's a real margin story, not hype. Second, for your career, the winners won't be the loudest. They'll be the ones who quietly learn to build on open models now, before the tooling matures. Automate workflows, not headlines. Third, watch the governance angle closely. Whichever framework wins, open or closed, coordinated or fragmented, determines which tools you'll be allowed to use and how much it'll cost. That's not policy trivia. That's your operating environment. AI is not magic. It's engineering, product discipline, and relentless execution. The hype cycle rewards noise. The market rewards outcomes. So here's the big takeaway. Zuckerberg is doubling down on one idea. The future of AI should be open, governed by all, and developed responsibly. And he's making it equally clear that Meta intends to sit at the center of it all. Now we want to hear what you think. Is this vision genuine, or is it about protecting Meta's dominance as AI takes off? Should superintelligent AI really be open to everyone? Or does that create more risk than it solves? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll be reading and responding to as many as we can. If you want a deeper dive into how AI is changing business, careers, and daily life, check out the recommended video right here. And remember, make sure to subscribe for more honest, no BS tech breakdowns. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.